Welcome or welcome back to the Variety Pack Podcast. I'm your host, Rashad, and today I just wanted to discuss some of the worst things that could happen to an anime series. Some of the worst things that can happen to an anime series. So, without further ado, let's start the show. Okay, one of the first ones I want to talk about is when an anime has too much filler. When an anime has too much filler, yeah, that could be a killer. I'll tell you that could be a killer. And when I think of animes with too much filler, the first ones that come to mind is Naruto and Boruto and also Bleach. Those are the three that come to my mind. That's like, yo, this has too much filler. Great story. The canon material is great, top tier. But the filler just kind of like people, they don't get invested as much because, oh, this is too much filler. Like, okay, case in point, say for instance, Naruto, right? The Naruto fans out there, they would agree. You know, I'm a Naruto fan myself, and I can definitely tell you, it goes episode after episode of filler. You like, okay, 5 episodes of canon, then you have 10 episodes of straight filler for like a couple of months straight. I'm like, that would make a person drop the anime, because like, what's up with all this consistent filler? And I remember when I first watched Naruto, I watched all the filler. I watched a good majority of the filler until I got to the very end, like, after the war arc, and then they start, so after the war arc, I started slowing down on the filler, but like through the majority of, part one, Shippuden, I was watching all the filler and stuff, and I was just but now, after I finished watching Naruto the first go around, if I plan to rewatch the series, I'm definitely going to skip, the filler, because now it's like, bro. But, yeah, and Boruto has this same problem. That show has the same problem. Just like, like they say, like father, like son. Your dad's show had a lot of filler. Now your show finna have a lot of filler, Boruto. And yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's not. It's to help the animators, to put a little filler episode in so they can have time to adapt the canon manga content. Filler is just basically a placeholder until we can, give us time to create the manga canon stuff. But yeah, you go 20, 30 episodes of straight filler, that's a mighty deterrent, my friend. That's a mighty deterrent. You're having all this filler, and it's like, you're like, oh, but the canon story, it was like 8 episodes ago when this monumental fight was finna go down, but oh yeah, here goes 15 episodes of filler before we get to the meat and potatoes of the fight. that would just kill it, man. That would just kill it, man. That would just kill it. So I can definitely understand the anime communities, their disdain for filler, or not just disdain for filler, but disdain for so much filler. I can definitely understand that, man. And that's the first one I wanted to discuss. Now, moving on to my second one on the list. If an anime doesn't get an ending, if an anime doesn't get an ending, I'm looking at you, Hunter x Hunter. And anime fans out there would tell you, man, Hunter x Hunter is one of the greatest animes all time. It's up there with it's up there with the best, man. But the fact that it's been going on for so many years now, and it's like, yeah, it's no, you can book it that the ending is not gonna come. You can book it, man. And at this point, it's like the Hunter x Hunter fans, myself included, it's like we just like, I'm pretty sure most of them don't even think about, oh yeah, Hunter x Hunter is gonna have it. Like, man, you're gonna be, it's I still have hope, a little bit of hope, because that's just who I am as a person. To, man, and maybe, man, Togashi, he gonna do what he gotta do, man, and, you know, pull through, you know, because he's been dealing with a lot of health complications with, you know, finishing the manga and, you know, doing things like that. So I'm hoping, man, praying that he pulled through to where he can finish it all the way through. And so, you know, the studios can animate the rest of it. Even if it was to have, like, okay, because Bleach went on, you know, hiatus, and it came back years later, and now we're, you know, going through the final war arc. So if Hunter x Hunter would do something like that, I would still be interested whenever it comes back, you know. But yeah, man, I'm definitely rooting for Togashi to finish, man, to get it all wrapped up, you know. But I do understand if some fans just gave up hope on it. I definitely understand, man, when some fans gave up hope on it. So yeah, it's like, I definitely get it, man. And Hunter x Hunter, man, it's just one of those stories that's so good, man. You know, top tier antagonist. You know, Gong is a pretty good protagonist. Even though I feel like the majority of Hunter x Hunter fans, they lean more towards Killua as a character, because myself included, if I had to pick Gon or Killua, I'm definitely going with my man Killua. But that doesn't mean Gon is like, he's a terrible written character and all that stuff. But I would just prefer my man Killua. But yeah, man. So if it does happen to go the Bleach route, we haven't seen this anime for 15 years, and it comes back with the final arc or whatever, or the final 2 arcs or whatever. I would be down if it took that route. And yeah, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed, man, that the manga one day will get finished, man. I ain't losing hope just yet. It's still a slim chance, you know. And one more, and then on my third one on my list, the third one on my list is a studio change. And that could also be devastating, because, studios, they have different animation techniques, different, how they lay out the animation. So if it was to go a different route, say, now I've heard this through the grapevine, if anyone out there want to correct me, feel free. Seven Deadly Sins, I believe it had this problem. The first season or the first two seasons were top tier, and then I believe it had a studio change, and then like the third season was like the animation was not good, lackluster, man. It's like the fans were just clowning it. It's a meme like, this animation for such and such anime looks better than Seven Deadly Sins. The animation of the food from Food Wars looks 10 times better than the animation for Seven Deadly Sins season 3. I've seen the memes or whatever, but and I haven't, actually seen Seven Deadly Sins. Well, not yet. It's on my list, but I, heard through the grapevine, and I've, seen clips here and there, like what it looks like. So I'm like, obviously like, that's, and me, myself, personally, as an anime fan, when it comes to animation, everything can't look like Demon Slayer. Everything can't look like Demon Slayer. So me personally, if it's not like, for me, it don't have to always be, this animation got to be 10 out of 10. If it's any, if it's anything less than a 10 out of 10, it's garbage. See, for me, I don't have to be that strict when it comes to my animation, So, because of course, if you go back and look at some of the old school animes, like, Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha, you're gonna see some older animation, but it's still good animation. So yeah, when it comes to the lackluster animation, for whatever reason, me personally, I'm just like, bro, it just can't look like, it just can't look like, just can't look like nothing, man. It can't look like dog poop. It can't look like dog poop to where you're like, I can't even, the story's good, but I can't even watch this. Like, when I saw season 3 of the clips of Seven Deadly Sins float through, internet anime community, I was like, yo. So I was like, man, this animation is not that good. So I see why it's so much uproar about that, and like so much disdain for that. Even for a person that doesn't put animation as the number one thing on this list as what I look for when I think of when I'm looking into a new anime to watch or whatever. So yeah, man. But yeah, that's, man. Number four on the list. You have, if an anime goes on hiatus. Now this goes back to my point I was making with Hunter x Hunter when I was saying, if it does the Bleach route and goes on hiatus, then come back, 10 years later, I'm pretty sure the fans would still welcome it with open arms. Because that's what Bleach has done. But I will say, going on hiatus, because you're still going to have some loyal fans out there that's waiting patiently for you to return. You're going to have some loyal fans out there, but going on hiatus for how long, especially if it's like a decade, you're going to lose some of that staying power. You're going to lose some of it. Because we all know Bleach is part of the big three, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. So then Bleach comes back for the 1,000-Year Blood War, and it's getting fanfare, it's definitely getting fanfare because Bleach as a story is such a good story. Ichigo is a awesome main character. My man Chad, my man Uryu, and my girl Orihime Inoue. Oh man, I love the main characters of Bleach, man. I love the cast. I love how they do it, man. Kubo, man. Yeah, your story is awesome, dude. But yeah, going on hiatus, I believe, and I'm pretty sure some fans out there agree with what I'm about to say. It could kill the momentum, man. It could definitely kill the momentum. It could definitely kill the momentum to where you like, oh man, most people there forget the story, like, oh, I gotta catch up, or what happened with this, or what happened with this. Or some fans would just be like, man, I done moved on. I'm not really interested no more. We got other animes out here. We got all these other, great animes, and they kind of just, put it on the back burner, so to speak. It's like, so it's one of those things where, yeah, because most people are impatient. Most people are impatient. Most people are very impatient with things in life. And that is no different with anime, because the community, man, we out here and we love the medium of anime. And it's like we want to see, some of the great fights and some of the storylines and, and the betrayals and, the plot progression of the story. So if you just like, oh, we're going to put this on the back burner for 10 years, and then you expect everybody that loved it when it first hit the scene, getting all the fanfare at the beginning. It's not going to happen if you have it, you put it on the shelf for 10 years. You're going to lose a percentage of the people. It's just bound to happen. You're going to lose a percentage of the people to where it's like, this anime should be higher than what it is. It should be higher than what it is. So yeah. And you have, some fans is like, oh, this was, I'm not watching it because such and such, or, oh man, it's, so it's a lot of things that if it goes on a hiatus, that's a very bad recipe for you to lose, like, a good chunk of your fan base. Not saying it's gonna have no fanfare, because Bleach still has fanfare, of course it does. But do I think, it could have been, the fanfare could have been a little bit higher? Yeah. So I just think that's one of them that can also hurt in anime. Yeah, because you could cut your fan base in half, and people being impatient and things like that. It's like, oh, I'm not waiting. They'll just go on to something else, forget about it, and like, oh yeah, well man, I heard about Bleach, man. I know, well that anime, it's been going for like 10 years, man. I don't think it's ever going to come back. So it's like, yeah, it can do damage, and it's hard to come back from it, man. It's very hard to come back from it. And last but not least, if an anime gets no season 2. Now, for this particular part, I don't have a particular anime to pull from. I just, man, because like, say for instance, man, you end on a cliffhanger. The anime, it could be an isekai, it could be shonen, it could be seinen, It could be any genre of anime, sports, whatever. It could be any type of genre of anime. And like season one is like, it could be lit, man. The plot, the story, the characters. It could be just, oh man, like, what? But they ain't get no season. It ain't get no season two. Especially if it ends on a cliffhanger. Oh, don't let it end on a cliffhanger, my man. That makes it even worse. That makes it even worse. If a season one was top tier peak entertainment, then you get a cliffhanger at the end on episode 12 or episode 24. You like, what? Oh man. So excuse me. So yeah, that's probably man, that's probably, dude, it's definitely up there. That's why it's on the list. One of the worst things that could happen to an anime. Man, oh man, especially, oh man. So, and then I actually had this conversation with one of my buddies, probably about a year ago. And, cause I'm still kind of new when it comes to getting all the ins and out of the anime, industry or whatever, how many sales and all that, and how the manga got to sell this much for the anime to be adapted or whatever. And my buddy was telling me to where, like, yeah, man, for you to get a season 2, your numbers have to justify it. Like your manga sales, how many people tuning in, and merchandise and all that stuff. And it makes me think like, man, but that's with anything. If the numbers justify it, then you're good, But like, okay, say for instance, I'm like, oh man, this is a great anime, but it's like, oh man, ain't too many people watching it. It's like, oh yeah, this only has 10,000 people watching it every week. You'd be like, oh man, that number low as a mug. That number is super low. Ain't nobody, they not gonna renew that for no season 2, man. That's too low. But then those 10,000 people can be rabid fans of the show. 10,000 people just straight loyal to the soil when it comes to a particular show. But you be like, yo, 10,000, that's not enough to justify. That's not enough to, that's not enough to get the ball rolling, even if those 10,000 people are rabid fans. And then my buddy, he was explaining explaining all of it to me, and I was like, okay, yeah, that does make sense. The numbers have to line up, have to justify it for the anime to get a season 2 and keep it going. So it's like, and there's a lot of those animes out here that's low key that you'd be like, oh man, this anime was fire. But you'd be like, okay, I think it's fire, but do like 50 million people think it's fire? Do 60 million people think it's fire? So it's kind of like, cause man, yeah, that's, yeah, man, especially like I said, if it ends on a cliffhanger, that's one of the worst ways to just close the chapter on the anime. And you be like, and then you have to go to the light novel or the manga. And then it's like, oh yeah, the manga's continuing, but it's still not justified to be like, oh yeah, season 1, but then let's check the data to see if we have enough for season 2, or if the people even want a season 2, or if the numbers line up for a season 2. So, so yeah, man. But through all in all, man, as an anime fan out there, you know, even though, like we said, anything can have a downside to it, but you still, anything can have a downside to it. But as anime fans out here, man, and I just want to shout out my fellow anime fans out there worldwide. Anime is, even with the bad stuff that I discussed in this episode that can happen to an anime, we still love it, man. We still tune in. We still tune into our favorite episodes, our favorite shows, and if you want to take it a step further, get the manga, get the light novels, and just make just enjoy it, man. So yeah, man, like I said, shout out to my fellow anime fans out there, my fellow weebs. And yeah, man, this has been your boy Rashad of the Variety Pack Podcast. I want to say it again. Don't forget to follow me. Twitter, the Variety Pack Podcast. Instagram, the Variety Pack Podcast. Facebook, the Variety Pack Podcast. So yeah, man. So if you have something out there, my fellow anime fans, that I didn't include on the list, what are some things that you guys think that is some of the worst things that can happen that I didn't include on the list? Just let me know. But yeah, this has been your boy Rashad of the Variety Pack Podcast. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. I am out of here.